A bit of lemon. No, a bit of milk. What up, peeps? Where my peoples is at? Where my people? Where my tea party at? Where my tea party at? Where my tea party at? Where's everybody at? Okay, cool. It's 11 o'clock. Let's do this. Let's talk. Let's talk. Kuda's online. This little rockstar. See you. Yo, listen. Do not listen to this if you're faint-hearted. This is not a good episode for weak-minded people. I beg you, please. Please don't listen to this one if you get offended easily. Please. Alright guys, can you hear me properly? Can you hear me properly? Yo, what up, man? Listen. Don't listen to this if you're offended easily. This is not for you. This is not for you, people. If you're offended easily, it's not for you. My J, how you doing? Agency Goomba, how you doing? Listen, I want you to log off if you're easily offended, if you're weak-minded people, if you're weak. Please turn off. This is not for you. This is not for you. Today we're going back to our roots. Today we're going back to our roots. To our fuck you roots. So this is not for weak-minded people. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not like strong language, if you do not like strong opinions, personal opinions, please log off now. Let's go straight in. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been going through some self-exploration. I've been going through some self-auditing, okay? I've been looking at the scenario, the way things have become, things that have been happening around me. I've been seeing the way the world around me has been working. See, I just had a baby. Thank you, Crims. I just had a baby girl. And my baby girl is going to be 5 years old at the next election. Or coming to turn 5 in the next election. So I realized a lot of things have been happening in the last week. And I thought, you know what? It's really, really important for us to have a proper conversation about vision, lack thereof as black people. Now, like I said, people, please, if you have weak constitution and you feel offended easily, please just turn off. Please, man, turn off. Because today I want to talk to you I want to engage you guys on some real things. We saw the dollar run last week. We saw the madness that happened with the currency last week. Now, if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, ask me, who has the amount of money? Who has the amount of money to buy $1 for 6 bonds? Who has that kind of money? And that money comes from government. You see, the only reason why we had a run on the banks last week was because of our government. My brother Adamski Jaman, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. I want to talk about Adamski Jaman just now, so please bear with me. I want to talk about Adamski Jaman because he made me realize a few lessons as well when he came to the house a year ago or two. What was really sad about last week's run was the way that us, the black people, the young people, jumped on the bandwagon. The way we jumped on this selling Forex bullshit, and the way we started getting involved in that mix of madness. The self-sabotage of our own currency in our own country. See, I watched us do it. And there's real things that we must talk about. You see, our government is irresponsible. Our government is irresponsible because they're the ones that were buying the Forex on the street. But we also participated in that madness. In that fucking madness. Because we like Jinjepam Soro, we like to feja, we like to kia. It's become a trait of us black people that we like to be middlemen in the middle of stupidness. Ladies and gentlemen, I went online and I was watching a program on olive oil. I thought, you know what? Olive oil right now is costing $15 a bottle. What would it take for me to become an olive oil producer in Zimbabwe? So I started Googling the fuck out of olive oil. And I realized something quickly. See, for me to be able to get a viable tree that's sprouting, that's seedlings, that's sprouting fruit from olive oil, I need to be able to plant it, nurture that tree for 5 years at least before it gives me the first olive. It's a 5-year investment. I must plant that tree, and it takes 5 years before it gives me the first olive. That's a tree that's growing, nurturing, you fertilize it, you trim it, and you let it grow, and then it gives you your first olives. And from those first olives, you can make olive oil. That's a 5-year investment. So then I Googled again, how long does it take for a fruit tree like an orange tree to give you oranges? You won't believe it, but if you're growing an orange tree from seedling, it takes 15 years before an orange can give you the first orange to make mazo. It takes 15 fucking years for an orange tree to make mazo. Now there's a way of making that a bit quicker. You do what they call skimming. They'll cut a bit of it and then they'll graft it on, and then they can graft on a branch to another branch, and then they can make it happen a little bit quicker. But even that process takes about 5 to 10 years for you to start getting fruit from a fucking orange tree. Are we together? Follow me here, ladies. Follow me here. Follow me here. Follow me here. For a mango tree to come from a mango seedling to be a mango tree that's viable and give you a few mangoes, it'll take about 5 years for a mango tree to grow from nothing to give you at least a fruit. It'll take about 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, for you to make a good batch of soy sauce that you can sell in the international market in a drum, it'll take you about 30 years of proper fermentation of a good batch of soy sauce used by Michelin star chefs. For you to make a good Parmesan cheese, for you to make a really good Parmesan cheese, it can take you up to 50 years of fermentation. Did you know that? A good Parmesan cheese that you sprinkle on your pasta. I'm going to take it a little bit further. For you to get a shot of Glenfiddich 30 years, it took a visionary to put it in a cask for 30 years before they sold that bottle for $400. For a Remy XO, which is 100 years old, it took a guy enough vision to put it in a cask and know that they will never get to drink that Remy XO in their lifetime. It may be a 50-year-old brandy expert who puts it in that cask, knowing that it will take another 100 fucking years before that Remy Martin becomes Remy XO for somebody to be able to drink it at $300 a shot. It takes vision. It takes actual vision for you to get the good, nice things that we love so much. The Parmesan cheese, soy sauce, olive oil, things that are expensive. See, if a young Zimbabwean wanted to become a grower of olive oils, they're going to have to be able to be patient enough for 5 years after planting to reap the rewards of making probably a very bad batch of olive oil, since considering it's the first year of fruit. It takes years of vision and planning, which is why today we're going to talk. I said, if you got weak constitution, you don't like foul language, please leave this channel. It's not for you. Today we're going to talk about fucking vision. The vision that the black man lacks. You know, it's vivid in my memory. The day that Adamski came to my house. We sat over there. We sat on that stoop. We sat on that stoop and Adamski explained to me a story about a farm that he and his parents used to own in Kwekwe, which used to produce many tons of mangoes. Now Adamski's watching, so I would like you to please type, Adamski, let us know how much mangoes were you guys producing in the heydays of your farm when you were a little boy. I'll let Adamski let us know the exact figures of how much mangoes they were farming at that farm. When Adamski came to bury his father, they had to go to the farm which was taken by one of our army generals. And not only is the farmhouse where Adamski grew up fucked and it doesn't exist anymore. It is a shell. They took away the window seal, they took away the doors, they took away the bricks. Okay? They took away everything. Right? The sad thing, the sadness I saw in Adamski Jaman's eyes was when he spoke about the mangoes. There are 200 hectares of mangoes. Adamski, can you let us know how many mangoes, how much tonnage of mangoes used to produce a year? Now, a lot of you are in the UK. You know how much mangoes cost when they imported off season. You know how much they cost. And Adamski told me that as they walked through the farm, they witnessed that all those mango trees had been unkempt, unlooked after, and fucked, and all the mangoes were on the floor rotting. Rotting. Not being imported, not being exported, not being eaten by human beings. They were just rotting. 200 hectares of mangoes gone to waste. I told you the other day that I went to my sister's house, my sister, the one I came after. And the first thing I noticed is that 5 of the mango trees in her house had been cut down. My little brother, he's watching. He cut them down. He cut down the mango trees. He didn't see the need of taking some of those guavas, no matter how many they were, packaging them, putting them, pickling them, making chutney, making fucking jam, for God's sake. We cut down the fucking guava trees. The guava trees that were planted by another man with vision. Black man, black man, black man. Mangoes can be tinned, they can be dried, they can be made into chutney. They can do a billion things. But it takes years to grow that plantation for it to be a seedling, to become a fruitful tree. We are going to have to be visionaries, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's easy for us to attack our government for lacking vision. But our government lacks vision because the people that vote for them lack vision. We are a country of people that lack vision together. There's no difference between us and our wasteful government. You see, as our government is buying cars for chiefs and wasting money on private jets for Grace Mugabe and Lady Gaga and them, we're the people spending $30 million on fucking DSTV in a country that produces no shows. We don't even have a 24-hour news channel. We're the country that spends $16 million of our fucking hard-earned US dollar cash every single month for Coca-Cola, sugar water. We spend $16 million for chemicals so we can make Coke in Zimbabwe. Then we have the right to say the government is wasting money on chefs' cars because there's no medicine. No. The government chose cars. We chose fucking Coca-Cola. We chose DSTV. We chose DSTV. We lack vision. As a people, we lack fucking vision. Are we willing to say, okay, fine. Let's not spend $30 million on DSTV for this month. And let's also not spend $16 million on Coca-Cola. And let's force our government to also put themselves through some austerity because they're irresponsible fuckers. They're terrible. But they're leading a bunch of people without vision. We have no vision. The amount of young men who rushed onto the streets last week when they thought that the rate was running and they celebrated because they thought tapinda, tahuito kesh. They lacked vision. They were not willing to plant a mango tree and wait 5 years. They wanted to burn the money now. There is no business in the fucking world that gives you profits today when you invested in it yesterday. That's not a good business. Moto ema paper. It's a fire started by newspapers. You're burning newspapers and then you think you're going to cook food with a newspaper? You can't. You need slow burning stuff that can cook for a long, long time, you see. We need vision. We need vision. Ladies and gentlemen, our country is in trouble. Yesterday, on the weekend, Tajamuka called an entire press conference to try and tell people to shut down the country. They said, Kuda and all your people, you must shut down Zimbabwe indefinitely. Hold on a minute. Why don't you use your convening power to tell me to go and plant some fucking macadamia nut trees? Use your convening power to say, Kuda, go and plant some wheat and get some center pivots up, and let's put our monies together and our heads together, and let's go and deal with the mango trees that have been left fallow, the vast orchards that were jambanjwa and never been trimmed and hedged and used. Why don't we inspire each other into doing name soro? Because it looks like to inspire each other with some soro is our only plan. Let's shut down. Let's fuck shit up. Let's burn this. Let's go cause this cock. Let's go cause that cock. Who are we kidding? As a generation, who the fuck are we kidding? Ladies and gentlemen, we are the generation that's produced nothing. Like I said, if that offends you, fuck you. We're the generation of Zimbabweans that took over from the Rhodesians and import toothpicks. Yes, that's us. We're the fucking generation that imports half the peanuts to make peanut butter to put in our porridge. We're the generation that imports half the fucking peanut butter that we eat. That's us. We are the generation that spends more time developing our skills to be rappers and social influencers. We spend more time trying to fucking build Twitter followings, typing God is in it and shit. But we don't go out and vote. We don't want to go out there and produce. We don't want to produce shit. We want to watch DSTV. We want to watch Game of Thrones. We don't want to make Game of Thrones. You know, if you listen to Zimbabweans talk every day about the Njuzus and the amount of time they've seen Goritotos and the amount of time they've seen fucking Ridoma, we should have our own fucking Game of Thrones by now. I mean, we have our own mythology. Why are we not? We're the generation that's produced nothing. We've produced fuck all as a generation. And I wanted us to think about that today. We produced nothing as a generation. We produce nothing. Our leaders are not telling us to do anything constructive. You see, if you have the kind of convening power that Nelson Chamisa has, because that man is very, 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 very popular, he must encourage us to do productive things. You see, if we take the next 5 years as the opposition, because I consider myself opposition, to produce and make ourselves indispensable in these communities that we live in. We produce to such a high level and we get our own forex and we start building businesses that are that can't be stopped. We're getting our own forex. Then elections are easy. Because then all elections take is money and influence. We have time. You see, if we think that we can win in rural constituencies as people, let's go and farm in those rural constituencies. Let's plant some mango trees and let's export mangoes. Let's put them on planes. Let's plant let's plant some roses. Let's plant macadamia nuts. Let's plant oranges. You know, we can't complain that there's no mazoe when no one is planting any more orange trees, for fuck's sake. We're still using the same fucking orange trees the white man planted 50 years ago. And then we cry that there's a shortage. We're the generation that produced nothing. We're the Tea Party, so we have solutions. Our homework, all 150 of us watching, our homework. Let's think bigger. A lot of you are overseas, you understand how to work hard now. The overseas has taught you how to work hard now, right? So now we need to start being involved in the primary sources of production. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stop sending money to your families for shopping. I want you to start investing in actually buying them things that help them produce, whether it's hatcheries for their chickens, whether it's helping them plant the land and get orchards up. We need to fucking wake up as a generation. Because I tell you what, sending me money today does nothing for me. Send me the ability to look after myself in 5-10 years. That's better for me and my children. So this is what we have to do as the Tea Party. We're solutions based. We're the generation that now has to be the producers. Let's refuse to be whingers anymore. Let's actually produce. Let's encourage each other. Let's read up on how to be fish farmers. Let's read up on how to be better chicken farmers. And I'm not fucking talking about chickens in the back of your yard either. Let's do 500,000 birds like Adamski's doing in England. We need to start producing at massive scales. We need to have vision. Be willing to produce something today that we can reap rewards of tomorrow and in 5 years and in 10 years time. Let's also bottle a brandy that we can sell in 100 years time. because that will benefit our children. The reason why we drink Remy Martin today, 100 years old, is because Remy Martin, the founder, the ancestor, made sure that that was available for his great-grandchildren. Let's start producing. We need to start producing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my yearning to you. This is our homework. How do we become better producers? How do we encourage each other to be better producers? Let's not complain about the price of fucking cornflakes until we start learning how to fucking make cornflakes. Let's not fucking spend money on DSTV and entertain ourselves watching Lucifer and Game of Thrones until we start writing and producing our own. I mean, shit, we have enough cameras in Zimbabwe. Let's stop filming prophets and start filming some fucking movies of our own. Come on, guys. Come on. We're the generation that's built nothing. Look at the skyline of Harare. Compare when we kicked out the white man, and the skyline is the same. Except Joiner City. Which is a fucking shithole now. You know that. And the Reserve Bank, which is fucking worse. Come on. Okay, enough ranting. Guys, we need to. I just want us to do better. I want us to do better as a generation, guys. I want us to do better. Let me try and add my brother. I'm trying to add some people. Add people. Da-da-da-da-da-da. My brother, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Kuda, how are you?
My brother, I always think about the mango trees that you told me about that day, and it breaks my heart, my brother. Why is it that us black men do not have that kind of foresight and vision? What's happening to us?
I don't know.
You're allowed to talk today.
People are greedy, isn't it? People don't want to see other people get successful. People don't want to work in communities. You know, if I think about it myself, quite frankly, what I would have done is, or what I would do is, people with vast amount of land, you know, these Mbavas that have got this land, they need to utilize it. What have they done in 10 years? Absolutely nothing. They've done fuck all, okay? Land reform was good. We all know that. No one thinks any different, okay? It was good. But what has government done to make it work for others? So how I see it is, there's a big Mbava who's got a nice big farm there. Everything is ready for him, was ready for him to develop, you know, and failed. Let it rot. It rotted away. So now, we had another point 10, 18 years down the line now, and still nothing is happening. So surely now there needs to be people, like you say, we failures also because we don't do anything about it ourselves. Now, surely there must be programs implemented so that we can empower people. You know, people have had land reform. They've got their 30 hectares, their whatever they've got, you know, 60 hectares here, 60 hectares there. The same farm workers who used to work for Varungu, right? Have land. But what has anybody done to empower those people? They've just said, there's 60 hectares. They have it. What are they meant to do with the $200 they were earning a month from the white man? They never saved enough to be able to start a farm. So now that big Mbava, he's supposed to be the big Mbava that he is, and now start sharing out and say, no, let me make that guy who's got 60 hectares of land, let me plant trees for him. He can pay me back in time. You know, I'll buy.
I tell you what, Adam. My problem is this. Yes. I agree with you that the Mbavas have a lot of room to play, but I find that my generation will refuse to take. I mean, I don't know anyone in my generation, my age group, who's willing to do an investment that will reap fruits in 10 years' time. I don't know anybody. I mean, if I tell anybody, like, look, guys, let's go plant some mango trees, I don't know anyone of my generation who would say, dude, that's a good idea. No. Like, shit, man, like, can't we just sell some fucking Forex and can't we just, like, do a hustle here and there? Like, we're kiras, man. That's what I'm saying. That we need to, we scold the Mbavas enough. What about us? How many chickens are you looking after right now?
I've downscaled, but I was on 750K before. I just
750,000 fucking chickens. I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine the amount of time it took to build up to 750,000 fucking chickens? And
Yeah.
it's like, who in my generation is doing that here? And this is what my struggle is, Adamski, that we're not having vision to be able to build. Like when people were building roads on Christmas Pass and building roads between Harare and Bulawayo, they didn't know why they were doing it, but they did it for the sake of their grandchildren. Why have we not done that?
Because we're pretty useless. We're pretty useless, really. And I must say, you know, let's not forget the people that were given land. People that were just ordinary farm workers were given land. They are willing to do those things, but they can't do those things. They don't have the money. They don't have anything. They don't have access to absolutely anything. That's why I'm saying somebody, there should be a government funded program where those people with those that acquired those land, those farm workers that were given nothing, that lived in compounds all their lives, there needs to be one main guy who looks after and empowers all those people, because they speak of empowerment. Empowerment is not just giving someone land and expecting them to start producing. Those people are there. You know, in Harare, what have you, we might not see those people who want to farm, who want to grow things, who want to do these things. But, you know, go out a little bit, go into Bindura, go into Chegutu, go into to wherever, Beatrice, what have you. There are people that want to farm. They saw what the white man did, and they can do it themselves because they were the ones who were operating. But there's nobody who can actually give them access to that. And you know, if it was me...
I have a question. A question, my brother. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When the pioneers came from England on ships and walked from the Cape up into Rhodesia area there, they started with Fako, correct?
Yeah.
Fako, right?
Yeah.
We gave people land in 2000. We're now 2018, correct?
Yeah.
How many mango trees is that? How many macadamia nut trees would have grown? How many olive oil cultivars would have grown? I mean, my point is this. Yes, we do have an inputs problem, but it's an excuse because I know that the first settlers of Australia, Captain Arthur Phillips, Captain Cook and them, they arrived on ships with convicts, and then they built Australia from nothing.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if you've had 18 years, of being given a vast tract of land, at least for fuck's sake, plant some trees and that can give you some fruits at the end of the 5 years. I mean, by now, a lot of these people should have grown themselves out of poverty because land is a very powerful tool.
Very.
So I go back to my issue here, bro, that we can continue to empower each other and give each other stuff. Right? A lot of people from the UK are sending over damn near $4 billion a year to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
What are we using this money for? Number one, are we just using it to pay more DSTV and buy more fuel to fuck around? Or should we now actually have a program where we as a generation say, fuck it, we're going to start from here and we're going to build something, goddammit, for the next 10 years?
Absolutely. No, I fully agree with what you're saying. And I never quite looked at it like that. And yeah, we must stop blaming things when, people could have done that. I mean, even coffee beans, you know, it takes 5 years to do it. That's not a long time, you know.
Yes.
It's not a long time at all. Okay, and I fully understand where you're coming from. And yes, that's sort of the arable side of things. That's the arable side of things. But as far as livestock is concerned, you know, there needs proper funding for people to reach that sort of level. So, you know, the thing is, it's like a...
all I'm saying, I guess what you're saying is this, Adamsi, because we're saying the same thing, but from two different angles.
Yeah.
So I believe that if the government is going to be held accountable for the Mbavaring, we should also hold ourselves accountable and have a good introspect as a generation, then find a way of meeting in the middle somewhat and saying, look, absolutely, you guys can't be wasting money on private jets and shit, whatever. But also, we can't be expecting to pay. We cry about no medicines, and yet we spend $30 million on DSTV so that we can watch English football. I say let's stop that for a second, and let's watch some of our own local football if we need to, for the sake of the fucking greater good. Like we're sacrificing our children's inheritance so that we can watch DSTV.
Yeah.
We're sacrificing our most productive years of our lives, Adam. The most productive years of our physical lives. Whilst you're growing chickens for white people in the UK, we're here fucking burning money. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm growing chickens for you.
It's fucking terrible.
It all
it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm here growing chickens for you. Not for white people. I'm growing it for you. They also, you receive it.
It comes here in Zimbabwe. Terrible. So we need to be growing our own chickens. Like we need to almost say, what are we willing to sacrifice now for our children's inheritance? You know, it's like we can't keep on having the niceties of life. We can't keep on driving foreign vehicles, holding foreign phones, and wearing foreign sneakers, foreign clothing, using foreign networks, and expect our country to do anything. I mean, we laugh at China, but look where China is now.
Yeah.
Look where they are now. We have to start thinking in a different way.
We need some Sankara stuff going on in our minds, really.
We need some Sankara. We need people to be wearing local clothing. We need people to be fucking eating local food. We need to be cultivating a Zimbabwean Hollywood that will rival the international. So, you know, like in the UK, the American movies are better, but there's some great UK ones that come out because they really put a lot of effort into doing the British UK thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I think we can get to the same. I'm not saying let's cut ourselves off from the rest of the world, but I'm saying as a generation, we've built fuck all, Adam.
Nothing.
All we did was take everything that was built and we squandered it. And that's a tragedy.
It is indeed, and that's exactly what happened. And also to add to that, what have we actually? There's people like us who are knowledgeable. I know farmers that are knowledgeable, and what have you. What have we done to try and help each other to be the producers? Nothing, absolutely nothing. We don't want good for one another. We don't. That's a fact. If I make $1 million tomorrow, every motherfucker will be as jealous as fuck. They don't care. You know, but whereby,
fact only.
Well, whereby if I made $1 million tomorrow, I would try and empower people. You know, I won't eat it all by myself. It's impossible. How can I eat so much money by myself? I don't need it.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, that's the mentality, dude. Unfortunately, and yeah, we've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing to show.
Well, I challenge you, my brother. I challenge you, my brother, that we need to start thinking differently. I hope that if some of us can start doing some work on the ground, I'd love you to come and help us out with the chicken farming and the projects, because you have knowledge that we don't. And I'll like to challenge other people like you who have that kind of knowledge to come and impart it on the rest, because we don't need many of us. We almost, how many colonial white farmers were there initially? 5,000?
Very, very few, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we almost need 5,000 good people willing to knuckle down and do the graft and hopefully inspire everybody else. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Your story inspired me, and I'm hoping that my shouting at my people can help them move forward. But thank you for joining me, brother.
All right, Kuda. Take it easy, man.
Lady, man, bless. I asked my brother Damski Jaman. He's a chicken farmer. He grew up as a farmer in Kwekwe, and the farm was Jambanjwa. It's produced nothing. And I think we're just trying to say, take up the challenge. Give me your number. My number is simple. It's 0716 111 111. That's Zimbabwe. 263 716 111. Hit me up on WhatsApp, whatever. Let's challenge each other. I want me and my wife to move to Gutu, for God's sake, and just slam it for 5 years. Because I'm telling you now, we cannot be sitting here in Harare just enjoying this fucking on-the-top lifestyle. It's not productive. As a generation, we're squandering our children's inheritance by our wants and our likes. So we need to work a lot harder. Does anybody else want to join me before I cut? Before I go do some work, people? Does anyone else want to join me? Just say add and I'll add you. If not, then I'll bounce. Anyone else want to join me? Lucy kept saying there was free labor. Yeah, I think we have to remember, Lucy, that Zimbabweans were not actually enslaved per se. They were employed. Employed unrightly. They were not given enough money or whatever, but there was, like I said, A2 farms given to Africans. There was reserves and so forth. So in colonialization, we still had a lot of way to learn. And I think then we took the land and we won independence. So we own everything now. We own everything as black people. And yet we have not produced jack shit. So, yeesh. Come on, guys. Anyone else want to join me? Anyone else want to add to the conversation? Please let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Anyone else want to add to the conversation? You want to join me? Let's talk. If not, I'll bounce. Should I bounce? I am a bounce. Listen, guys. Thank you very much. I'm gonna sum up. It takes 5 years at least to grow a mango tree. You can export mangoes and earn millions of dollars from Zimbabwe every year. It takes over 5 years to grow a cultivar from olives. It's expensive in this country, and you can export it all over the world. So we need to start thinking of how do we have vision to enjoy things later on in life. Hi, Eleanor.
Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
Fantastic. Talk to me, man. What you got to say?
Nah, dude, like, and as much as I agree with a lot of things that were said before, I just needed to say, like, you know, on the realistically, when you're actually analyzing how much it costs to actually produce, it's really expensive. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he has got 150 hectares, and he's mega productive in that. Like winter season, he produces wheat, and then the other season he produces soya. So he's like almost 20 round the clock production, yeah? Now, when I asked him how much it actually cost to actually do just one season, he's telling me $30,000 on labor, on seed, and now he's upgrading his irrigation system. Now we have to be realistic, Kuda. In our generation right now, who's got 30K? Who's got 30K? You know what I mean? So even if the will is there, people were given the land. It's just, we have to just be honest that the government did it all wrong. You don't give somebody a piece of land. You don't give them education. And most of all, you don't give them the flipping access to the funds to actually do what they have to do. So let's be honest about that.
But here's the truth. I tell you the truth, is that I can find personally, I can find 10 friends and we can make $30,000.
Yes, if you do it cooperatively. Funny enough, you should say that, because I thought a more realistic way of actually getting productivity up in Zimbabwe right now is, instead of giving people stupid little funny loans, especially in this economic climate where it's up and down and everywhere, get a bank that actually loans up tractors, yeah? So you've got a community of 10 farmers, for instance, right? And they're responsible for that one tractor, and they rotate it amongst themselves. You understand? Yeah. So not only do you as the government get a return on investment because they're actually paying you back in terms of whether in grain, it doesn't have to be in cash, but in that grain that you can now take to grain marketing board and all, and still get your profits that way, because that farmer isn't going to have the cash. He's going to have the grain at the end of the day if you increase productivity. Yeah. So let's do things like that. Community initiatives, community banks for equipment to increase productivity.
Can I tell you something cool? Because you guys are in the UK, some of you. There's only 10 combine harvesters in Zimbabwe. 10.
Damn.
Can you believe that?
That's working with an organization.
Can you?
That is doing that for Nigeria right now, and it's just working amazingly. Do you understand? The productivity has doubled because you're going to those farmers that don't have jack diddly squat. It's the same thing that other people were doing, exploiting the Korokozas or whatever with the generators daily rate or whatever. But if the government can come with a fair deal, a fair scheme, you understand? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not stupid. There's other things that you can't control when it comes to farming, natural things, drought and things like that. You understand me? But there are certain things when you've got, instead of a money bank, I take the money, my friend, me, I'm going to take the money, I'm going to go and buy myself my gin and tonic, you understand, to celebrate that you gave me that money. But if it's a piece of equipment, you are actually reducing the chances of that person doing anything. I mean, what are they going to do with a flipping tractor? Go and pick up their side chick or whatever. It's not going to happen, right? So
not gonna happen. No, I agree. So my challenge to you, I know you've done a lot of work. You built a hospital out here in Zim, where my daughter was born, by the way. Shout out to you guys for the VIP treatment. Thank you. Thank you for that. Personal Farms was very kind to us. But I know you've done a lot of, you put up a hospital out here. But my challenge is to others, people in Zimbabwe, is that, guys, can you get together out there, use some of that crazy capital you have, and do stuff like invest in combine harvesters, invest in productivity. Because like I said, I can put together a group of 10 people and we definitely can raise a certain amount of money, even over here. And I think you guys over there have a lot more power. So I would love to see initiatives like this for you guys instead of kufurana by internet all the time. I think we can do some incredible things for the future generations. And we could be written down in the history books as people who actually invested in the country and eventually actually brought it out of the slum that it is. Because if we keep looking at politicians, we're fucked.
Of course, no, I totally agree with you. And you've got an amazing platform because you've got people, access to both people in the diaspora and also locally, you understand me? So in terms of partnerships and stuff, it's a bit tricky the more numbers you have in any kind of partnership or anything. But I mean, if you come up with a solid plan and stuff, I'm certainly in for that, because when you talked about productivity the other day, I'm right on that. Do you know, even at the hospital, we try and be as self-sustaining as possible. We grow our own rice for Pete's sake, you understand? And that drives down the cost for, say, the customer. So you look at things like that. So it's all about innovating businesses. I really did think someone did suggest that you do a roadshow and all that stuff. I actually thought it would be good, though you bashed it. But, you know, sometimes people don't know. And until that point was brought up, you don't realize the power of the following you've got. You can actually influence change, right? We're all here, people are interested, people are following you. Even out of these 100 people, if 1/10 of them come together and invest in 2 combined harvests, as for instance, you understand? That's productivity.
My sister,
and lead by example. We can't be looking at the government all the flipping time and saying, oh, they're not doing this and that. What the fuck are we doing?
They failed us, and I think we have an opportunity as a young generation to actually think, you know what, if we look at ourselves, what have we produced? And this is the thinking that we now have to look at. And I know you guys overseas are working hard. People are working in different environments now, and it's like I wish some of that hard working spirit would infect the people here, because the spirit is rife in Zimbabwe. And you know, you guys stop sending people money to go order and sell in Zimbabwe. It's bad practice. Send someone money for a sewing fucking machine. Let them know how to sew. Send money for people to farming equipment. And there's other things that desperately need to happen for a generation to get out of this bullshit. So salute you, darling.
The problem also starts with primary school, secondary school. Our children are not taught entrepreneurship. My mother always taught me that you will never, ever get rich working for somebody else. And you know her story, she's just a midwife, you understand? She's not a doctor or anything fancy like that. But with a vision and a dream, and you actually having the wings and access, I must say, to capital. You need the capital. But even if you can't get the capital, be innovative. How can you create that? And this is what I'm saying. With our current situation, let's group together. Let's put money together. And we actually create a community bank of equipment, and we increase our productivity. Even if we're just 10 farmers in the young generation, surely a tractor will benefit all of us. I can't buy it outright for myself, but if it's me, you, and flipping 7 other people, then voila, we've got a tractor.
And tractors cost about they cost $15,000 on AliExpress. So that's a thought. Later, babe.
There you go. All right, sweetheart. See you later. Say hi.
I will. I don't know now. We're talking about the amount of years it takes for olive trees to grow and produce olives for olive oil, which in Zimbabwe costs $25 roughly for 500 milliliters. So we need to become better producers. We need to become better producers. We need to put some effort into our work. As a generation, we need to start building. My brother Simon said, add some. Hey Simon, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Give us your contribution.
I've got a story to tell. we started a project in the harvest, and this was a combination of UK people and Zimbabwean people on a WhatsApp group, people who don't know each other. We've got a farming project in Bindura. So we took on a farmer who wasn't farming. We said, okay, give us the land. We managed to clear the land last year. We got command inputs worth 62,000 under this model. And this kind of a model is crowdfunding. Each person was supposed to contribute $520 US. So we raised roughly out 25,000. And of that 25,000, we cleared the land, paid the workers and things like that. So we are on second year on this model. We have a similar project. It's the same. The concept is the same. We started on buying shares at the stock market. So I've got like 12, 15 people. Same model. Anyone who wants comes in, and then we put in a contribution. We do our shareholders agreement and stuff like that. But my point is this. Productivity in Zimbabwe, even if we get a minister from Mars, if we don't understand what we need to do, what is the plan? Okay, let me talk to you about productivity. A rural farmer only farms 3 months of the year. He's only productive 3 months of the year. That's the other 9 months. What is he doing? And this is my problem. This is the biggest problem challenge in Zimbabwe. Nothing to do with Vargu Kia. Munhu akagara kuruzeva, an 18-year-old boy apedza chikoro. What is his productivity? What is the plan for that person? Could even asina kuenda kuHarare. If he doesn't go to live in Harare, what can he do in that rural home? Can he get a mortgage? Can he get a pension? What are we planning for this young boy apedza O-level in a rural school? And for me, that is the major problem. If we don't give our people in the rural areas title deeds or an opportunity to own property in where they are, we are wasting our time. We have got to get these people to have imba yakuti he can sell. Right now, for example, like I've got my rural land in Chivu. If I want to build a hotel in that rural home in Chivu, right? I can't build it because I don't own title to that land. If I die today, my son can't inherit it. So this is our major problem. We can't develop our country because takasirwa laws akaitwa 1896, which today, for some strange reasons, our politicians are not interested in dismantling them. Tell me why somebody who owns lands for 100 years cannot get title for that land. Why does it belong to the chief? My father can't see that land, but I can't claim ownership because my young brother, if I build a hotel, my young brother will say, Neni, that land was my father's land. And they can claim ownership. So do you see what is limiting us? That ability to give our people the opportunity to own things. Because once I've got title, I can go and access capital. I can go and do things I want to do. For example, I gave this talk about, let's take Gwanda, for example. Why is it a young boy cannot go to a bank and say, I want to create a solar farm? Why give Chifayo 5 million instead of giving 5 million over 100,000 young boys to have solar farms in Gwanda? Do you see what I mean? That young boy doesn't need to go to Harare to get a job of Bulawayo. He can have a solar farm in his rural home. That 5 million Chifayo could have been given to 50,000 young boys to have solar farms within their local homes. And the talk of those guys will be selling the electricity back to the grid. And they'll be sitting and earning money just doing that. So, did you get the idea of productivity? Is that we have what we call debt capital. Zimbabwe yakanyanya ne debt capital. Vanhu vanofana kuita productive vakamirira kupuwa inputs every year na president. No, that should go away now in this modern age. They should have access to capital. We should have community banks like that's what the girl was talking about, which give these people good aiwaga unemunda wakati toda kuti productive. Minda yakagara kuma reserve. Why? Ndakagara miti papo ma avocado. Nina ngari ndonokowa. And I can't say anything. Who owns that land?
My brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And listen, I would love to hear more about some of the schemes you're doing. Please hit me on the inbox. I'd love to get in touch with you, see how we can replicate what you guys have done already, what didn't work, what works best practice. Because we should be able to multiply these things.
Yes, exactly. There's a story to tell on this project. I think you need to do a story on it. It's amazing the challenges we have had in terms of government support. We've got government support right to the top of government as well. They've been sort of helped us, but there's a lot of challenges, and there's some of it. Let me give an example, right, before I go. ZESA, right, takatenga transformer from South Africa to put at the farm, right? We get the transformer from South Africa, it's tested in South Africa, it works in South Africa. It gets to Zimbabwe, we pay duty at the border, right? We get it to ZESA. ZESA says the transformer is faulty, it doesn't work. And then we've got to send it to one of the friends where ZESA, one of the ZESA subsidiaries to get it fixed. They charge us for doing that, right? We send it back to ZESA. They charge us for testing that. Once it passes, for us to put it at the farm, ZESA wants 10,000. Right?
Wow.
And then ZESA, after paying 10,000, that property becomes a property of ZESA. That transformer is becoming a property of ZESA. You guys don't even know what we're talking about. So there are challenges in that productivity. You were like, okay, why are you taking this transformer to become yours? When we have paid duty, we have imported it from South Africa, then you have charged it for you to test it. You have charged it to put it up. Then it becomes the property of ZESA. You can't move it anymore. And the corruption, these are huge problems. And it's just,
thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. So please hit me up in the inbox so we can share some of these projects with others. I need it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem.
That'll be dope. Thank you, brother. Dope, man. That was very interesting.